Hello, everyone. This is OG CV Coach 216 here. Glad to have you on my screen today. I'm going to be talking to you about career change. Is this the best time for you to reevaluate your career? You know, and also discover why this is the best time for you to do it. You see, sometimes people get so um, involved in what they've been doing for a long time. You know, and when they are involved in what they've been doing for a long time, sometimes they, because of the time and the years they've spent in that particular area of the job, it's difficult for them to change career. But let me tell you a short story where I met some guys just about 2 3 weeks back. When I met him, we're discussing because he saw me and said he was asking me about health and safety, what it's about, because I work as a health and safety consultant. So he was asking me, which of the courses do I go for? Now we've got, if you're familiar with the field, we've got the NEBOSH, which everybody knows about, and we've got the NCRQ, which most people don't really know about, but it's coming up now. And he said, which of them should I go for? And I said, I'll tell you. So I was able to explain everything to him. Now, in my next video, I'll tell you which to go for, or what I see from both, because I've done both of them, you know. So, and I told him, I said, why moving from health and safety? Why moving from your present job straight into health and safety? And what he told me was this. He worked in an industry for over 25 years, and he's just got like 6 years to retirement when he was made redundant. Now, when they made him redundant, it looks as if, everything that he has worked for over these years was almost gone. But you see, when he sat down with me and I began to speak to him, he really thought about so many things and said, you know what, this is good for me. Thank God I met you. Where I was there, I was supposed to be there for about 30 minutes, but I ended up staying with him for over 1 hour, 30 minutes, just discussing about career to him. Now, that's why I'm doing this broadcast today. The reason why I'm doing this broadcast today is so that you will know if this is the best time for you to, reevaluate your career. Is this the best time for you to move on, or there's a better time? Now, since March 23rd, 2020, there's been lots of issues, especially because of the COVID-19, as some people say, or CV-19 or coronavirus. There have been lots of issues. So many people have changed jobs, some have been made redundant, some have even left their jobs. Some companies have folded up. And some people, because they've been in that industry for a long time, they never expected that things would go this way. But things have happened now. So why is this the best time for you to reevaluate your career? When you stay in a career for too long, life establishes a rhythm and a pattern for you. And this is what is often referred to as the status quo. It's like the way it is done, the accepted form or the norm, as some people will say. So it becomes that way. But what I want to ask you is this. You may either feel as if your life is adapting along with it, or your career is never changing or growing. Now, in this period with CV Coach, we've trained over 30 people in changing their career, and so many of them have changed their career. Coming in to meet us, we coach them, we take them through a program for like 2 months, and then find a way to put them into the industry that they desire. And that's what we've been doing. Now, in changing your career, what are the things you need to think about? First of all, have to do an appraisal of yourself. First of all, think about yourself. You need to have what they call a guided career overview. Have an overview of your own career. Think about what you have that you could bring into the industry. Remember something, you get paid in some industry, not for the time you're there, but you get paid for what you're bringing in to the industry. So you have to think about it. What kind of industry are you going to work, and how do you think you're going to fit in? When you are getting on or moving on in life. So you have to think about it. What skills do you have? Now, if you've listened to my previous videos, In those videos, what I've done is this. I've given people a very simple exercise. Now, this exercise is this: get a plain sheet of paper, rule in between, just create like a space in between an A4 sheet, you know, and then on one side of the A4 sheet, write out all the skills that you have. Maybe teaching, maybe sales. Write out all the skills that you have, you know. And then the next thing is this: um, on the other side of the sheet, you know, now um, on the other side of the sheet, what you need to do is now begin to analyze how you're going to walk around those issues that you, those skills that you put in there. If, for example, you're good in sales, think about it. Are you good with numbers? Are you good with people? Are you good with talking to people? Those are the things that you have to think about. So when you have those things outlined, and you've got on one side of the sheet all your skill, on the other side of the sheet an explanation of those skills, then you move on to the next level. The next level is now for you to begin to look around the people, the area which you live, and see if where you want to go for this job, if your industry is on sale in that area. You see, sometimes when you're changing a career, you need to do a self-appraisal, and you have to be very honest with yourself. You know, in doing a self-appraisal, you're going to ask yourself, will I be good in this industry that I'm getting into? Will I be able to survive in this industry that I'm getting into? Because sometimes, you know, you might meet people and people tell you, you know what, if you get into this industry, it will pay you more. But it's not that way. It's not just around that end. There are things you have to really look at in deciding. You know, sometimes you have to psych yourself up so that you are able to now say, okay, well, this is where I'm going to get into, and then talk yourself into that industry. The first thing you need to ask yourself is, are you inspired by your career goals that you've established based on that paper that you've written down? Are you inspired by the career goal? You know, because if you're not inspired by your career goal, then there's no need for you to go into that career. The next thing you have to ask yourself is this: would there be anything that will hold you back from reaching this career goal? What is it that's going to hold you back from reaching your career goal? You see, when you walk around the things that's going to hold you back from reaching your career goals, then you now have what they call a gap in your career. What I mean by a gap in your career is you've written this down, you know quite well that now you want to go into, for example, you want to work as an engineer in a telecommunication company, but you don't have the engineering knowledge. So what are you going to do? The thing that could hold you back is lack of engineering knowledge. So you know there is a gap in your skill or your career, then go get it. So once that gap is filled, you now know quite well that, you know what, there is no more gap in my career. Then the next thing you have to do is now know that, okay, well, I'm not going to apply for this role. Okay. So one of that thing is this. So if there's nothing that's going to hold you back, then get ready. But one other thing I want to tell you is this: you need to first of all make sure that you are not engaged in any form of negative talk. Make sure that you're not engaged in any form of negative talk. You know, because sometimes when you are engaged in form of negative talks, it affects you in the sense that those negative thoughts can impact your career. Because what you need to understand is this: on that sheet of paper, the assignment I gave to you, you know, thank you so much, Mrs. King is here. That's good. Thank you. You know, on that sheet of paper that I gave to you, the assignment I gave to you to do, what you need to know is this: if you've been involved in negative thought, it affects your career. That's why when you're getting into a career, it's important that you move with the right people. I always advise people, especially when they come in from Africa. I'll be talking about in one of my live videos. Make sure you invite somebody. When they come in from Africa, maybe they've been a doctor, they've been a nurse, you know, or they've worked as a pediatrician or a gynecologist in Africa. But coming over here, you have to do lots of exams. The way you can remain inspired is working in an hospital environment. You can't say you've come in from Africa as a doctor, then you're going to work let's assume in a shop, you're not going to receive that, you're not going to get that inspiration, because the more of the people that you see and meet, you find that the more you are inspired to do what you want to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now it's just like, let me give an example.
Wow.
You want to walk in, you want to go into YouTube and then or become a YouTuber, but your friends among you are not inspired to do that. It's going to affect you. It will affect your rating. It will affect your ability to learn, because why? You stay around the same people who can inspire you. So if you've been giving yourself negative talk, avoid negative talk completely. Avoid it completely. Now, Zeno is here. Thanks so much. Avoid negative talk completely. Stay motivated. So tell yourself that you believe that you can get into this industry. Then one other thing is this: do you know what you are capable of accomplishing? What I tell people who come in to do training with me, when I train them online, because we do a lot of training online, for people who wants to come change their career or get into an industry. What I tell them is this: you will get a job. You get into this career, because you see, I work as a consultant, and because I work as a health and safety consultant, I meet lots of people as I go along. I meet lots of people, different people who wants to come into the industry. Sometimes some will tell you, I've been trying to get in, I can't get in, but I always ask them something: do you have a mentor? If you don't have a mentor, it's quite tough for you to survive in the industry. But if you have a mentor and you become a mentee, then it's easy for you to get into the industry. Because what will happen is this: right now, I'm mentoring a young guy, and what I've done is this: the guy he's got masters, he's got BSc, he's got the NIBOS, he's got the qualification, but no knowledge about the industry. So what I do is this: I take them right in. So I'm taking them out of the book life straight into the industry, so that they get to see what it is about. Because just like I said, the analogy I made before, if you come in as a doctor into this country and then you want to work in an industry where you're going to work in the supermarket, for example, there's nobody that's going to inspire you there. But if you work in the hospital, you always meet people who will inspire you. So what I do is this: I take them with me to where I work, and then they see all I do, and they are impressed. They are amazed to say, oh, so I can make it, I can survive, I can do it. Because why? They see me do it. Then the next time I tell them, you do it, and they see themselves do it. So it's easy for them to do it. So what you need to know is, are you capable of accomplishing what you want to accomplish? So, in that my program that I tell you about, you need to sign up for the program. If you want to change your career, you want to get into the industry, sign up for the program. It's a 2 months I won't say it's a 2 months online program where I'll meet you online, then we'll meet in the practical too, we'll meet physically. Beautiful program. It will change your career. So if you want to send me an email, be quick: og@cvcoach2016.co.uk. Send me an email or leave a comment. Yeah. There's someone who said, I have a question. Yeah, go on with the question. No problem. So you ask yourself, is it time for you to change your career? You can type your question in there and I will answer the question. Is it time for you to change your career? Let that be your focus. So begin to walk along this line. Are you capable of accomplishing what you want to get into? So those are the things. So every time you're thinking of, is it time for me to have a career path, you think of the value of productive thinking. So when I'm talking about productive thinking, is it time for you to sit down and then you begin to ask yourself, okay, how am I going to walk through this? How do I get there? How do I change things? It's easy, because this is the best time for you to reevaluate your career. It's the best time for you to change career, because now the system of working will never be the same. I can tell you that. That's for sure, because I worked during the CV-19, the COVID-19. I was working and I was seeing so many things. People lost their jobs. So many people, were made redundant. But one thing that was certain was this: in the industry where I work, which is the health and safety industry, more people were still being hired. Why? Why do you think more people were being hired? Because now every industry want to make sure that they are able to accomplish their role in regards to health and safety. No, okay, now I have a question here from King. He said, what's your advice on changing into something you do not enjoy, but going in because the pay is good. You see, one thing about jobs or career is this: don't ever go in because the pay is good. In any industry that you work, if you start from wherever you are and get better at what you do, you'll be paid more. Now, let me use my industry for example. In health and safety, what people do is this: when they come into health and safety, you start from being health and safety officer or a coordinator to an advisor, then become to become a consultant, then become a director, a manager, things like that. But you see, the money goes in. If you get into a career that you don't enjoy, it will be a very sad time. The reason for it is because the more you get into the industry, the more you make, the more you're paid. You find that there is not much pleasure in what you're doing. You should enjoy your job. Anything that you're involved in, you should enjoy it. Anything that you're doing, you should enjoy it. You know, you should enjoy it. So try as much as possible to get into the industry that will bring you joy, not because of the money. Anything you do, you will love it. Let's, for example, let's say you are, no, let's say you are uh, a mechanic, for instance, and you don't love it. So if you're working as a mechanic, you don't love what you're doing, but you're being paid. It will get to a time you're going to be so bored with the job. And let me tell you something: the time it will take you to work in an industry where you're not enjoying, another person who is working in a different industry and enjoying their job would have gone farther than you, because by the time you're leaving that job, you find out that you've spent like maybe 6 7 years in one role, but you've never enjoyed it. Now by the time you are getting into a different industry, the 7 years of your life have been wasted. You have the money, but remember something: money does not bring joy. But just as Jim Brown said, it ranks up there like oxygen. So it's important. So that's my advice for you, King. I be king. So that's my advice for you. So when you're changing into something you do not enjoy, be very careful and don't go in because the pay is good. Enjoy what you do. Enjoy what you do so that you'll be able to, you'll be glad, you'll be satisfied. You see, and one thing about career is this: career is giving something to someone. Whether you're working in an industry, whether you're working in a factory, wherever you're working, you're giving something to someone. And if you see yourself like you are on that production line to making somebody else happy, you will always be happy. But if you see it like, what, I'm just here to do my job and get paid, you will never be happy in it. Thank you so much for the clarification. IB, thank you very much for joining us online. So that's it for today. But I'll be coming again on your screen at the next time we're going to be broadcasting. It's going to be sometime tomorrow. So make sure you're around. Now, I'm going to be talking about moving from a foreign country, an African country, into UK. How do you manage? What do you need to do before you come in here? I'm going to be giving you some points that you need to look out for. Now, share this video, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get involved with us, and then hit the notification button so that anytime I come in, we'll get in touch and we'll be together. Take care and bye for now.
Okay, Mom, how many Big Macs did you get? Mommy, how many